Let's do it. Welcome back.
On behalf of the Worth a Shot podcast, we want to thank those that lost their lives in battle for our freedom. So happy Memorial Day to everybody out there.
This one's for you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, this is not our normal location. Where are we? What is going on today?
We are live on location at the Meat Lounge.
The Meat Lounge.
The wife and I got bored back in COVID. Decided to make a little screened-in porch. I have a nickname going back to my days at the Red Dog years ago. They called me Meat. My buddy that helped me build this said we got to have a name, right? You know, it's just like naming your boat or anything good like that. You have to name it, and we came up with the Meat Lounge.
We are the Meat Lounge. So for those of you that are watching this, we're actually filming on Memorial Day, and it's hard to get people to come out and talk because everybody's with their family and hanging out. So we're actually with our families. They're all here. We had a nice, delicious dinner. And now the kids, you probably can hear them in the background screaming and having a good time. But we decided we still got to film and get content out there. So we're going to just talk about about us.
If you don't want to hear about us, turn off right now.
Hey, thanks for watching. Right. See you next week.
Sorry, we have nobody exciting for today. It's just us.
Well, you know, we kind of give you bits and pieces in our first episode about who we are and what we're about. But now we're actually going to get a little bit more into why we're doing this and a little bit more about our backgrounds and why we can do the things we do and enjoy our lives and have a good time. But so today's Memorial Day, having a good time, hanging out, having some drinks, and just want to be able to have a good time with you guys. So what do you...
Our wives.
Yeah. Also, we did actually acquire a production team.
We did.
They're actually helped us out. Mm-hmm. We have the sun staring at us right now because they need to see our faces.
Yep.
Our wives have generously helped us out because they saw our first 2 episodes and said, you need all the help you can get. So now we have a roadie team that is helping us make these better. So if they're better, we didn't do it.
But if they suck, we also didn't do it.
Correct.
So just throwing that out there, we're not taking responsibility for any of this.
None of it. While the kids are having a good time, we're sitting here drinking.
I'm having a great
the wives are here critiquing us every step of the way, but that's how
marriage.
it goes.
That's marriage.
That is true.
Kids have fun, wife's critique.
This is also
I love
very
you, babe.
true. Room, what's going on with all these beverages in front of us?
Well, great question, Jake. After we had Aaron Hamlin on with Happy Dad last week, he enjoyed it. He had a good time out here. We kind of started talking, and they're going to start donating some cases and see where we go from there.
I like it. I mean, like we said, I am not a seltzer fan. I really don't like them, but with the amount of less carbonation in them, I can drink these no problem. I mean, they're delicious too. So here's another one.
Yeah, there's another one.
So we're not sure what's going to come of this episode. We have nothing planned, nothing scripted because
we've already been filming for an hour, and I don't think we have crap.
This is our second minute in, and we've already filmed for 2 hours of it. So we're not sure what's going to lead to, but we're just here to talk a little bit about us and kind of have a good time with it. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So
you're going to interview me?
I'm going to interview you.
Crap.
Right? So our first guest of the evening is the owner of the Pound Bar and Grill, Nick Hegley. Nick, I have a couple questions for you.
Yes, Jake.
No, so how long have you been with Pound?
I have been with Pound since 2000 and... We opened 2012? January of 2012.
You opened with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And before that, you were Vegas?
Yep.
Okay, so...
So I had like a 4 or 5 month window there where I wasn't in the bar at all. We moved back Labor Day of 2011 because we got married in May of 2011. And we kind of were like, hey, you know, we want to start a family. Let's move back from Vegas and see what we can find. So I moved back. I started doing a landscaping gig. An old friend of mine was originally part of the Pound, and I reached out to him to say, hey, congratulations. You know, good luck if you need a hand with anything. Well, we also worked together back in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So he knew that I bartended. And he goes, hey, listen, we want to put in effect the 10 o'clock bartender again. I'm like, oh, that works perfect because I was either doing landscaping or steel fabricating during the day, and I could only work Friday, Saturday night. So
perfect.
I had a gig where I came in at 10 o'clock on a Friday, Saturday night, made some money, got out of there.
You were 10 to 2?
10 to 2 a.m., yep.
Okay.
So, I mean, just that quick little 4-hour window. Plus,
I had the biggest time that somebody needs
Which is, and it's great because I was a volume bartender. You know, I'd get there and I would go work up on the roof, make some coin, and then head downstairs, make some coin, and then, you know, I got out of there. I didn't even know we had an actual full function kitchen until I took over as GM.
Fair.
After we had already been open for 2 years. Because I was always there at 10 o'clock, so then I'd go in there and I knew we had pizza and fried food.
So go into that. So you went from the volume bartender. What happened after that? You just did that for how long?
What do you mean, at the Pound or in general?
Well, at the Pound. You were there?
So about the first 2 years, and then a bunch of things kind of happened, and I got the opportunity to take over and buy in, and it was kind of a no-brainer. It was lucrative. It was something I enjoyed. I've always had a bar gig in my life, whether it was, starting from when I was 16 years old, back at the Red Dog, or out in Kalamazoo, or out in Vegas. Like, I just always been in the industry. So it was kind of just like a no-brainer where it's like, I really enjoy this. It's not just extra money. So like, how can I take what I enjoy and run with it?
So 2 years in, just volume bartending, and you got to get in on it. So you got to get in on ownership and run the place as a GM. And after that, it's just kind of taken off from there, right? So how long have you been in the managing/ownership role?
So that has been, it'll be 10 years, 10 years just this last week, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. And so now, as a bartender, as a GM, as an owner, what's your favorite seat, right? Because a lot of people, like, they can manage it and they can own it, but they miss the bartending days. Some are like, I hated the bartending days. Like, what's your favorite seat in all of it?
So I loved bartending. Bartending was so much fun. I have stories after stories. Most of them probably not allowed to show on here unless you sign up for our OnlyFans.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans, yeah.
Subscribe below.
All of it. It's $1 million per month, so that way we know we're going to be
It's a blackmail channel.
Yeah, if we have to have lawyers involved, we know we're covered. But
exactly, we got to cover our ass first.
So
I love the bartending because it kind of gave me that initial interaction with the clientele and stuff. And I don't know, like I really enjoy being on the back end side of things and kind of seeing how things work and where your money's made, and like the marketing side of things. Like, my wife has done a lot of different things with marketing, and she's really trying to get into that more. So like, she's helping me open up my eyes a little bit more. And again, like back in the day, like I would have said maybe 5 or 6 years ago, if you would have asked me to bring on a lot of these products that I'm bringing on, I would just put my foot down. I've been stuck in my way as a stubborn old man, being like, fuck this. I'm not, it's not worth my time, or I'm not gonna buy into the trends and whatnot. But to call it what it is, and that's something you have to learn as being a good business owners. You have to know how to roll with the punches and go with the times. And if that's what the clientele wants, that's what you bring on.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So like, but I enjoy that. I've worked at 3 different bars that have been from day one on. So I've seen the novelties. I've seen what work out. I see what don't work out. I see the niches, the different kicks. And, we mentioned on the last show is when the college kids are out of town, they come back, like, what are they drinking? What's the popular shots, the popular
you got a tool
drinks
for what your audience is
right,
going to be.
Absolutely,
Well, we talked about it, like, I think it was a year or 2 years ago, we brought karaoke in, right? And we were doing it, I think it was every other week or every week. I forgot, it was on Thursday nights. And we were trying it.
We were trying it every other week right off the bat, because I didn't know how it was going to do.
We tried it. It was okay, but it wasn't anything special. But it's something that, neither one of us are a big fan of, because usually a lot of times with the karaoke scene, it's people drink water. They think they're going to be on the next American Idol. They think they're going to be
suck.
And they're really not, but they think they are, right? So, but they're not spending the money. You're putting the money out there to bring the entertainment in. They're not spending the money in, and you learn these things as you grow.
For sure.
So with that though, and we can cut this part of what I'm going to say, but I want to see what you think.
Blooper reel.
Blooper reel. As long as I've known you, you've been with 3 different ownership groups. As you've grown, I've seen you take on more and more roles.
I've taken something from. So at first, I'd started out. I just had one partner and then a couple silent partners.
Right.
Then we sold, and I had 4 other partners and myself. And then we sold again, and it's 2 other partners and myself. So like, I found taking on new things, but also as much stress and anxiety as it's giving me at the beginning of it, it's also helped me learn my business more and learn, because, before I knew just the people interaction. That was easy, right? And then I knew, how to keep people happy, and, how to keep the place alive and upbeat and all that stuff. But now, I'm starting to look at it more on the backside of things.
Right.
And, it kind of, and the marketing side of things. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, what can we do next? You know what I mean?
So you've grown and grown and grown with the business, and now you've got more responsibilities than you ever have had.
Sure.
Obviously, you're still enjoying what you're doing.
I do. I love it.
But would you rather just go back to the easy days of let me just go and bartend and walk out, or
No.
I'm kind of the same way. Like
I like
happy
it.
with
Yeah. I mean, you started, doing your one job
Yep.
in the industry.
Yep.
I started doing my one job in the industry. I like where I'm at now. I like, I like being the face out there that talks to people and, makes the connections. I like reaching out, trying to do things in the community. I like trying to get with different events. I know you're on the same page where it's like, I enjoy that interaction way more, I think, than just when I come in and it's all about, I have to make rent today. So, hope I make $400 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So
and
like
with Gavin on, he talks about all these events, and I know you get excited about it. And I know you get excited about it because of what it'll do for your business, but you also want to see what it's going to do for the city because you care about it. I mean, you guys at the Pound do for Pink Week for football. You guys were there. You guys have done events for them.
Yep.
You guys stream the football games when they're in the playoffs. You guys have streamed the hockey games. You're all about the city. And yes, it helps your business, but truly you care about the city, which is unlike a lot of owners who are like, I need to make my dollar and get in and get out. Like, you actually care a lot, which is kind of unheard for.
And I mean, at the end of the day, you start a business to make money. That's what it's all about, right? But also, we're going to get mushy here. It's about, reaching out and actually, like, interacting with people.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? It's just keeping that community. I've said it time and time again. I grew up hating Brighton. Absolutely hated this town.
Because you're from Milford, right?
I'm from Milford.
Yep.
They kicked our ass in sports for years. It was just like I came into see my offset, the help here, she knows. Like it was see, Milford girl. Anyway.
That's my wife. Yeah. From Milford. No, so getting back to the city talk and I mean, obviously giving back to the city does things. I mean, with our events, we'll do, obviously our main bread and butter is doing weekly entertainment in bars and restaurants, but we do events. We've done events for, Blessings in a Backpack. We've done them for cancer events. We've done it for people that, lost their jobs. We've done so many different events, and it's stuff like that you actually enjoy doing because it's something giving back and helping out. I mean, there's been times where we've gone to an event, we've said we're going to charge X amount. I've gotten to the event and said, don't worry about it tonight.
Right.
Just because you can see it in their eyes, and it's just, and as I see with you guys, you guys do so much for the city. I mean, your building has student athletes on the side of your business.
They do.
Nobody else in Brighton has that.
And we have nothing to do with that. People ask all the time, they're like, how do I get my kid up there? We just provide the canvas. Everything else goes through Brighton High School.
But you do it, though,
But we do it, absolutely.
And you say use our business.
Yep.
Use our building, do what you want with it, and they do it. But that's something that nobody else does. I mean, South Lyon, where I was for 15 years, they have a billboard where the high school football team puts their schedule on the billboard. That team still pays for the billboard.
Sure.
Do you guys charge them?
No, not at all.
That's the point.
Because at the end of the day, what else is that piece of brick of our building doing? It's just sitting there. Now we get to showcase local athletes, I think they're honor athletes as well. I think they have to have an over a 3.5 GPA as well. There's definitely different criteria that falls into it. They don't just go and say, hey, that guy's good at this sport. They look into it more and, they make sure that he's just well-rounded all the way around, or he or she is well-rounded all the way around,
And you guys change it out, once a year?
They do it periodically. So they just actually added a whole new picture underneath the one that was previously there. I think it was the seniors one. They'll let that ride. And then sometimes they change it right after the school year and then let it run for the summer with some more seniors, and then they change it again. I typically think it's 2 to 3 times a year.
Do they let you know, or they just start doing it?
No. And I come in to pull my parking spot, and they're always just there posted up with cones, and I'm like, what is this? I have to walk an extra 8 feet into the building?
Oh, poor Nick.
Again, check my contract, okay?
He just pushes them in a wheelchair all the way to the door.
You should see my rider. It's 4 pages long, and I have none of it here.
That's true. Hold on, it's right here.
Actually, I take
here's
that
your
back.
notes. Yeah, here's your rider.
Oh,
right
no,
there.
what's my...
Now, let's see.
I can't see
14 happy dads per minute. Wow, that's weird. That's
I have to support you, too.
That's true. That's very fair. I mean, but at the end of the day, you and your business cares about the city, and that's a lot of businesses say that, but they don't actually step up like you guys do, and it's kudos to you guys.
Thanks, man.
Not getting on the sappy stuff though. You guys do entertainment. What's your entertainment schedule, and what does your outside of us what's your entertainment schedule look like?
Entertainment schedule outside of us is pretty much Thursday nights, we do rooftop acoustic, and Sunday afternoon, evening, we do acoustics on the roof as well.
So both of them are on the roof? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's which you know from our previous videos, the setup for that, it's just amazing.
Sure.
And you guys have DJs Friday and Saturday nights for
Yep.
people that want to come out.
Yep, Friday, Saturdays.
So start at the Red Dog.
Yep. Well, didn't really start at the Red Dog.
Okay. Tell me about it then.
Oh boy. All right.
Beers. Seltzers.
If you do or have worked for me, please fast forward this part because I do not condone anything I'm about to say. However, it brought me to where I am.
So intrigued now.
Yeah, great. All right. So I'm about 16 years old, and I get a job at a local restaurant in Highland, right? And I had been working there for about a week, and they had tell me, they're like, hey, and I was just a dishwasher, right? And they'd tell me, they're like, you need to be here on Friday. And I was like, well, I can't work Friday. They're like, why not? I'm like, because our varsity basketball team is in the conference finals or whatever it was, right? I was a freshman. I was nothing. I was not even good at basketball, but I was like, oh, the coach wants us all there, right? We want to support our team.
Sure.
He goes, doesn't matter, kid. You have to work. What time's the game? I go, 7 o'clock. That's in the middle of the dinner rush. I go, all right, cool. No big deal. I guess I won't go. So I walk in there at my shift. I think it starts like 5 o'clock. I'm washing dishes for like an hour, hour and a half, and I happen to look up, and I'm like, I'm going to miss the game. I got to get to the game, right? I take off my apron. I throw it on top of the dish tank. I go to the game. I don't even remember who won the game, mind you, okay?
High school student, doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Like, that's how important that game was
100%.
to me 25 years later, 20 years later. I don't even know who won it, right? I show up the next morning, Saturday morning, come walking in, whistling Dixie, and the boss looks at me and goes, hey, come in the office. Okay. I'm thinking I'm getting a raise, right?
Of course.
I've worked there a week. I do so amazing.
100%. I did. Well, we know this is
I'm
the
your
Nick
best-
show, so we know this is going.
The best dishwasher you have, right?
Yeah.
Walk
Only
into his
dishwasher, but
office. I sit down. He gives me a smug look, reaches in his safe, looks on his computer, starts counting out some cash, and he throws it down on the table.
Boom. Raise. Awesome.
Nope. He said, here's your week's pay. Get the fuck out of here. I got fired on the spot, okay? The audacity of this guy, right?
Does he not know the presence he's in?
I go to leave. I literally get in my car. I call my buddy, and I'm like, you want to play video games? Like, I don't have to work today.
Right.
Go over and play video games. My cousin calls me, and he's like, hey, man, I knew you just got a new job and everything. Hope it's going well for you, but I could really use a hand out here at the Red Dog. And I'm like, well, I'm open to the idea. Like, what's going on? Tells me, come on in. He's got a kitchen job for me, right? I end up dishwashing there. I end up dishwashing to then cook. I then move from cook to server, from server to barback to bartender to on Sundays when everyone else wanted the day off being the manager. Okay? I'm 19 years old and I'm managing the bar on Sundays, so everyone that worked all week and week
Pretty big
long,
bar in Milford too.
right, it's a very big hopping spot, right?
Right.
And they would trust me on Sundays to manage this place. So then I move out to Kalamazoo. I go to school out there, and then I'm commuting back and forth for a few months because that's where I was making my money.
Right.
I run into a buddy of mine, or I make a new friend out in Kalamazoo. He gets me the job at the bar out there. Then my wife and I decide, hey, we're going to move to Vegas. Why not? We move out to Vegas. But by having that experience at those two bars, I got the bartending gig in Vegas. Then moving back from Vegas, I get then hired at the Pound. And now that's just something more to have on. So grand scheme of the things is I was such a piece of shit that I was supposed to work a dishwashing shift, and I pretty much said, screw you, and now I own a bar.
To be fair,
I have a partner.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but to be fair, you were a high school student at probably the most important game ever played as a high school.
Most important game I've ever seen in my life that I have no clue if we won or lost.
Exactly, because you were high school.
Absolutely.
But that's the way it is.
And I made a stupid decision. And again, if my staff is watching this, I hope you blew past that whole part, but also don't pull that shit with me.
Like, just don't.
Like, you're not going to pull one over on me. I'm not dumb. I've been down that road.
So when your dishwasher calls off for a basketball
My
game,
dishwasher is
he's
going to
own a bar, right?
My dishwasher is amazing. But any of these other little kids out there that have done us wrong or whatever in the past are probably out doing amazing things.
They all own bars now.
They all own bars. They're running. I've had some people come back and actually say, hey, you busted my ass so much. Thank you so much and helped me out in the real world. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, I'm their boss, but also at the end of the day, like,
and you want to see them succeed.
I want to see them succeed.
Right.
And if I see that maybe they're a little bit softer or something, let's toughen them up, because let's call it what it is, dude. The world is mean.
It is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everything's all sunshine and rainbows.
As a guy that's around your bar a lot, I see how you are with your staff, and you're not that asshole of an owner, but you also give them tough love because they need it, right? And at the same time, you expect more of them because you know what they're capable of. And
I have a lot of kids that remind me of myself.
Exactly.
That just want to not give a shit, this and that. And again, we've all been at that age, right? You know what I mean? Like, tell me how serious you were as a teenager with your jobs.
Absolutely. I was the best ever.
Of course you were.
I was awesome.
I hire them all the time. Like, I give them a grace period, but also it's like, give me a respect. Not like the respect I showed that restaurant when I walked out.
The most important game in Milford history. You had to be there. And to this day, you'll never forget that.
It was a great game.
And the winner was?
I don't know. I might even left at halftime. I don't know.
And now you own a bar.
Now I own a bar, right.
Listen, I get it.
Like I said, I want to help these kids out. You know, like, majority of my staff, they're younger, this and that. And I hire people that I see potential in that just can be, that can do good. That's not how I should say that. Is I hire these kids that I just see potential in, and I want to see them succeed.
Yeah. Because you care enough, because you've been through it all.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I get it completely. I mean, that's how I started.
Sure. Well, I don't want to keep talking about me because, like, not everyone's tuning in to see me.
This is the Nick Show.
Okay.
So
but
why don't we're here?
So why don't you tell me? Okay. You want to sit here and grill me?
Whoa,
why don't you tell me where all this started? I want to know. Where were you born? What was the climate like that day?
My social security number is.
How long was the birth? Mom, can we chime in here?
The birth. I don't know any of this.
Were you this size when you were born?
This is how I was born.
Jeez.
It's like the Will Ferrell skit.
I can do. Oh no, that's not.
No, that's the Matt TV.
That's Matt TV.
When he comes out like, it was hot in there. Like this is it.
He's got full chest hair and everything.
That was it.
You were born with a fucking beard.
Sure was.
Sweet Jesus.
That's it. No, you want to know what I was born like?
His little boy's running around set. He's got a beard.
I was like, you want to know what I was born like? Bring my kid in. He looks exactly like me. Like
it's like you took a shrink ray and shaved him.
Exactly is.
How far back do I want to go? Oh, let's go back. What got you into the industry? You said that you started this company, 10 years ago?
15.
15 years ago. But that's not where the Giacovetti storyline started. So what got you into the industry at all?
So here's the funny story. So
I better laugh.
You probably won't. From the ages of 15 to 21, I jumped from job to job to job.
Okay.
Worked in the kitchen, managed a pizzeria. I was a basketball coach. I was a preschool teacher.
Wait, were you at the game that I went to?
I was the coach. Remember? That's why we lost.
It was like, oh, we won? Oh, damn. What a great game. Glad I went there. Whew, glad I took work off.
You didn't leave at halftime.
That was great.
Now you own a bar. From 15 to 21, I jumped every single job you can think of. I basically did it. My very first job was
kind of like I was saying, where you just kind of move all around you start in the kitchen, which I feel, is that where we all start? We all start washing a dish.
Close.
Okay.
So mine was ABC Warehouse. As a stock boy.
Oh, okay.
So basically, people would order appliances, we'd load it into their car or load it to the truck, and that was it. I lasted 1 week.
Is that because you're not strong?
Also true. I was so bored.
Right, you just stand back there, wait for someone to order a fridge?
We sat there, and most of the time we sat there and just watched movies back in the day where they had all the projection screens going on because there was nothing to do. If somebody ordered it, we'd go back, grab the fridge, throw it in the truck,
that's all you do is just wait for people to order things.
I hate it. I'm not a sit around and wait. I got to move. And these other guys are loving it because they're getting a paycheck.
Right, they're getting paid to sit down and do nothing.
Not my thing. Like, I can't do it.
Sure.
So after a week, I'm like, I quit. And it's the person that owned the place was ABC Warehouse. He was a good friend of my friend, and he was the dad of my friend, and we just
the one local here.
No, this was out in Redford.
Oh, okay.
So and then it was just he owned the place, and it's like, hey, come work for me. And after a week, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. I was a paper boy for like a month. I was any job you can really think about, I did it. I hated it all.
Wait.
Yep.
Male stripper.
Once I turned 21, I became one.
Good.
Subscribe to the OnlyFans. You'll see that content.
Full nude or just top?
Extra subscribe. You'll find out.
I'm intrigued.
Once I hit 21, I was 20. I was the PE instructor of a Boys and Girls Club in Detroit. I was at Michigan Avenue in Livernois.
Okay.
It was the original Boys and Girls Club of all of Michigan. And it was great, but it was about a 30-minute drive there every day. It was a crappy location. I parked my car. I was always afraid it was going to get broken into. And I just wasn't excited. And a friend of my mom said, "You have a really good personality. Have you ever thought about hosting trivia?" And I go, "I barely graduated high school. I'm not smart." And they go, "You don't have to be. You just have to read questions." I go, "I barely graduated.
I just told you.
I can barely
I'm not
read."
smart.
Like,
hey, listen, I've never picked you to be smart. That's
I
not
agree.
why we're friends. Okay, I just want you to know that.
What? No, I mean, they're like, "You have a good outgoing personality. I think you could handle it." I'm like,
You have a face for radio, bro.
I do, but unfortunately, it's in front of a group of people when I have to talk.
You do.
So I was like, "All right, I'll try." So they put me in an interview, and I was in front of the number one person, the number one host, and I did it, and they said, "You are not going to make this. This is not going to work out for you. You're not good at it."
You had like Simon Cowell up there.
Oh, it was worse. He
Yeah.
literally was like, "It's terrible." What's funny is the location that I trained at is not one of our locations that we do trivia at. But it's kind of a long story. But he said, "You're not really good at this. It's not going to work out." And that pissed me off. And I said, "Fair." I went home and I practiced like voices, right? Like
Sure.
how to get a better voice. And like, this is how I talk. But when I get on a microphone, I've got that.
He does have a microphone voice.
I do have that radio voice. Like, everyone used to joke with me saying I
Dude.
should have been announcing strippers because I have that.
Dude, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. When I was sitting there at the bar one night and I heard you, you're like, "All right, team number 2. Come on up and get your prize." I'm like,
Everyone
"Oh
said
my
it.
God, heaven to the main stage." Like,
No, so
that's what
I
it
would
sound-
have-
Dude, you
I
have
would
a
have
stripper
people-
announcing voice.
People would literally put their name as, "and now on stage Cinnamon." So I would have to announce that.
Wait, hold on. Did you say your nickname was Cinnamon?
No, people would put their team name
Sweet
as.
Jesus. I was like, no way.
Subscribe to the OnlyFans for that. To see Cinnamon content, subscribe to the OnlyFans. No, people would put that as their team name, "and now on stage Cinnamon." So I would have to read it, and they would sit there and laugh their asses off.
But again, it's how you project.
I do.
I bust your ass for it.
Yep.
But you do have that stripper entrance voice. So I want you to let everyone know that when
There
they
we go.
sign up, to have you be their guy. Okay.
But I'm not the guy anymore, right?
But you are sometimes, right? You still fill in.
I still will fill in.
You still fill in because it's your business.
It is.
Right?
And
And if something happens and you're at home with the kids and you're in the middle of grilling dinner and somebody calls you and they're like, "Hey, nobody showed up." I know it's happened to me before.
I've done it.
Or you've given me a call, you're like, "Hey man, you got a celebrity host tonight, this and that." I'm like, "All right, cool." And I think nothing of it. And then your big ass walks in the door. I'm like, "Crap.
The other day, I had to drive an hour and a half to go do a bar.
This means we're going to have a good time." Oh, yeah. This means we're going to have a good time when I know you're coming in. So why don't you just give me a quick little example of... Just give me a...
So let me get to it first. So
Okay.
So when I practiced, I didn't know like how to like suppress a voice or do things like that. And I was just sitting in my car one day driving home from the interview. I was like, "This is bullshit. I'm just going to try things," and nothing sounded right. And then I literally, back in the day, I had a flip phone that I recorded myself on. I went,
What did you have?
I had the Nokia brick with the button that it was a black
you
phone.
used to-
You hit a button and it would flip open.
Oh.
Yeah, it was fancy back in the day.
Right.
And I recorded myself
I
and I
told
was
you
like,
what I wore in the 90s, so
It's
like,
true. I
I
mean,
couldn't afford that phone.
It was a gift from my mother for Christmas. That was,
Oh,
that was
good.
my only Christmas gift that year.
Oh.
But I recorded myself and I was like, I think I could do it. So when I do it, right, I can suppress my voice and I can talk like an announcer and go through things and talk and announce like that. And it's very easy to flip on and it's very easy to turn off.
Hold on, can we turn it on again?
You want to go on again? And I can just keep talking about it and welcome to the show. And I can do it. It's no problem for me.
You should be a baseball announcer.
So
I was standing there like the
so-
house on the side of the road. Very Ernie Harwell.
Very Ernie Harwell. So, but here's the funny thing about it,
What are
right?
you laughing at?
Because it's easy. This is the audience. Like, I wish we could turn the camera on to see these two right now to see, like, they're dying. They're dying.
We're just being us.
But so anyway, so I practiced and I went from "you're not going to make this work" to
You're going to kill it.
I did the second interview and they went, "You're really good at this." The third interview they said, "We got a bar for you," and this is going to be opening up a lot right now. I'm from Redford. I knew nothing but Redford, Livonia. That's all I knew, which was pretty much city.
Brick and mortar,
Exactly.
cookie cutter houses.
Exactly.
Yep.
I get the call from the owner saying, "Hey, we're going to put you at the Southline Hotel." I'm a 21-year-old, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to work in a hotel. I'm going to get so many women. I'm going to go to..."
Wait, did you think it was an actual hotel at the time? Because the name of the
It's
bar.
a South. It's a hotel. So I'm like,
Awesome.
I'm getting so many women.
So
I'm getting them. We're
the
getting
city boy is not
Yeah.
from
Oh, no.
the country out here
No.
to where it knows what the hell the South Lion Hotel is. It's
Which
just
is
a name,
funny because
right?
now I am so much more country than I am city. But at the time, I didn't know.
See, I don't see you as a city boy because I met you
Correct.
once you moved out here.
Correct. So I'm like,
Okay.
all right, I'm going to get girls. I'm going to go back. Like, this is going to be awesome. My life has just flipped a script. I can't wait for this. And I pull up and I go, where am I? This is a podunk town. At the time, it was the horse capital of the state of Michigan. There was more horses than people in the city. And I pull up to this
Actually,
bar, and it's all
yeah.
wood, and I'm like, where are the rooms?
Oh, we're talking the old
Yeah,
school.
this
South
is
Lion.
15 years ago.
Yeah, before
I pull
burnt
up,
down.
and I remember to this day, I was driving my mom's white Escape when I had a sunroof on it. It's me and my 4 boys, and we were all hung out every day, right? We all party together. We pull in, we sit down at the table. They introduced me as this is going to be your new host, and everyone looked at me and went, he's got to go.
About you?
They instantly.
So this is now 2 places that have been like, this guy sucks.
So I met the owner of the hotel, right? Corey. So I met the owner. His name's Corey. And he said, hey, just so you know, next week is our last week. We're canceling.
And you just started.
I wasn't even starting. Next week was my first night. So they had me go, introduce myself. I learned the setup. I learned how to do it all because they had a system I had to learn. And they showed me how to do it.
Okay.
And they said, by the way, next week's our last night. Okay. I go in. I do the show. I go the next week. I do the show. 15 years later, we're still there. Like, nothing changed, but...
Wait, hold on. Did they fix the glitch? Were you ever getting paid?
Oh, I mean, the company got paid because I was just a host at the time, so the company got paid. the entire time.
Oh, that's right. This was not your own
This is not
company
me.
at
No,
this
I was
point.
just a
Okay,
host.
I'm sorry. I thought that this was you had started.
No.
Okay.
So I was just hosting. So I got to do so well that they were like, yeah, he could stick another week, and another week, and another week. And 15 years later, we're still, but now it's my company, right? So at the time, I was doing just the South Line Hotel.
Okay.
From the hotel, I then added a second night, and then added a third night, and a fourth night. I was doing 7 nights a week for this company.
Just at the hotel?
No. I was
for
doing
that.
all
Oh, I'm
their
sorry.
bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I
For
was
that
doing a bunch
company.
of their bars. I was doing 7 nights a week.
Okay, so you're doing 7 nights a week.
Yep. And then I got into question writing. And then I got into marketing. And then I got into sales.
Okay.
It didn't work out.
Okay.
And then once I left the franchise, I told the hotel, like, hey, unfortunately, I'm not part of the company anymore. And he said, that's fine, we quit. I need help in my kitchen. Okay, I'll work in the kitchen. But part of your duties is I need you to host a trivia game on Thursday nights for me.
Where is this?
Southline Hotel.
Okay.
I said, okay.
This was your Red Dog.
This was my
essentially.
Red Dog,
South
yeah.
Lion Hotel is kind of what gave you the opportunities, right?
So I said,
Good
I need
small
one-
town.
Yep. I said,
Yep.
I need 1 week off. Let me figure out how I want to do this game, and I'll do it. So I took a week off, figured out how I want to do it, and that was 13 years ago, and it's been ever since. So we did it for that, and then as we grew and grew and grew, we now are in a bunch of locations, and obviously we met, and now we're doing it 3 nights with you, and kind of go from there.
Doing it with me.
Doing it with you.
What's your goal, man? Where are you trying to get at? Like, what are you trying to do? At the end of the day,
I want
look,
to quit.
we all want to quit. No,
You would
nobody,
see my phone about 10 minutes ago.
nobody wants to work. Yeah, but that's part of the business, right? You own a business,
Yeah.
and you have to deal with that crap. Doesn't matter if it's your day off or not.
So that's a great question. So obviously, thanks, Nick. That's a great question.
Great question.
Great question, Nick. No, I mean,
Hashtag Aaron Hamlin.
yeah. Just
Tag that guy in here.
thanks, Aaron.
Hey,
Thanks, Aaron.
thank you, Happy Dad and Aaron. Pause for commercial.
Pause. Just right on the bottom. So that's a great question though, because I don't know. Like, I never really thought about what the future is. So I'm always one. Let's try, and if it fails, it fails. I'm not a big deal. It's not a big deal if it fails, but
Failing is actually winning at the end of the day.
it is. But I took too many chances to where I'm like, whoa, let's pause a little bit. So at one point in time, I had probably like 5-6 states that wanted to bring it into their state, and I'm like, let's do it. And
States?
states,
Not county. Like, not
No.
counties in Michigan.
States.
States outside of Michigan.
So I went to, so I do real estate, right? And I met,
do?
I do. I actually, wait a minute, I know your wife.
What does that mean?
Gotta go. No, I mean,
Hey, now.
So here's, so
That's why we were in Vegas. Son of a bitch.
the chair.
The whole weekend just blacked out for me.
No, so obviously I do real estate, and that's actually how I got into real estate. Was your wife got me in and got me a scholarship to get my license and so on and so forth. But when I went to one of my conferences, I met agents from multiple states, and I told them how I'm doing trivia in bars and restaurants, and I'm getting leads for real estate from it. And they're like, "That's brilliant. Let's partner up." And I did it with like 6, 7 states we tried, and it wasn't working out. It was too hard to focus on the day-to-day in Michigan,
Sure.
trying to expand, trying to do real estate, trying to raise a family, all the things, and it was just too much. And I brought people on, and it was good, but it wasn't good at the same time. So when you ask the question, like, what do I want? Like, right now, I just want to get enough to where our family's happy and healthy, right?
Sure.
Like, and that's all I really want. And then what comes from there, I'm cool with whatever
Sure.
happens from there. And I
Your
also,
bills are paid and your quality of life is set, right?
yeah.
That's kind of where I think that's where everyone's at. You know,
Yeah.
like you want to keep succeeding, you want to keep going forward,
Yeah.
but also you don't want to overexert yourself, and you don't want to take away from, you know, your kids are growing up, my kids are growing up. You don't want to miss out on those recitals and games and concerts.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, so for those of you that are still watching, as of 2 hours ago, as we've been filming this, the first camera died, so we have to switch to another camera. So hopefully this is working out. But to answer your question about my goals, I don't know, right? Like, I just want to make sure my family's taken care of and things are going well for them, and that's all I really want. Like, if I get 1,000 bars, great. If I get 7 bars, I'm okay with it. Like, I just want my family happy and taken care of.
Sure. And I think that's kind of what all business owners want for, right? Like, it's not about us, it's about what's after us.
Correct.
You know, we want to have a good time, and we want to, you know, expand our businesses and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are we leaving other people? What are we leaving our kids?
Right.
You know what I mean? If my bar is something that my kids can eventually buy into, own, you know, do their own thing, that's great. It's same with their company. If that's something that you can leave them as like a little nest egg, you know what I mean? And then, you know, they can continue to make people happy or whatnot. Like, I get it, man.
It's just one of those things where, you joked about I had all the swag in the 90s, but like, I came from nothing, right? It was just me and a single parent, and we lived
Sure.
with my grandparents for 13 years.
Okay.
Because we had nothing. And to have something that I could give them and say, hey, here's something is worth.
I mean, that's the
worth
best,
a
because
shot.
as a parent,
Like I did that,
nice pun, bro.
right?
At the end of the day, the parent you want, or as a parent, at the end of the day, as a parent, what you want to do is better than what your parents did for you.
100%.
My wife and I talk about that all the time. It's that perfect philosophy of leave it better than it was when you got it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You know, like, your parents did great for you, and I don't deny anything that they did or anything they did wrong. I don't hold anything against them, but I want to do better.
Yep.
You could have a picture perfect childhood or whatnot, but you want to do better. I'm sure you could say the same.
100%. You just want to.
Oh yeah.
Even if you had it 100%, you want to do 110, which is not possible.
Which is
but
mathematically incorrect.
but
for
you
anyone
just
that gives
wanna-
110%,
right,
you're
but
fucking wrong.
you want to do that next
yes,
thing,
absolutely.
right? That next thing that you could do for them.
Yep.
So, this has been a very deep into our lives because, like I said, we had no guests. It is Memorial Day weekend. We didn't know who would be available. So,
You know what I found out though? We're not that interesting.
we're really not. Like,
We're making
we lost people about 2 hours ago.
We're making our wives laugh, but I think they're just laughing at us.
They're 100%. So
They're not laughing with us.
we're not sure what's going to come of this episode, but we want to thank you for tuning in to what did happen. Obviously, with it being Memorial Day, it was hard to get guests on. We will get guests on in the future, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who did serve, and we appreciate everything you guys have done. We can't wait to see you guys in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, baby.
Can't wait to see if this is worth a shot.
Hey, who knows? We're still having fun, right?
Hey,
Hey,
to you.
till next time. To you.
2
See you
weeks.
guys.
See you guys.
Nick's show.
Welcome back to the Nick Show.
Welcome back.
Nick's got the #1 camera.
Completely amazing.
We can have more of us time because that's what everyone tunes in for.
Yeah.
And Nick moved. God damn it, Nick.
I'm sorry. Do I have to sit like this the whole time?
Oh, it was off on your face.
You know who we're going to bring on as a sponsor? Metamucil. If we keep talking about how old we are. Hi, I'm Wilford Brimley, and I've got type 2 diabetes. Thank you, Happy Dad.
Thank you, Happy Dad. Thank you, Happy Dad. What are you doing in
I'm not saying anything on camera. Oh, shit. It's on.
Our third podcast? We finally have our own roadies, and, well, this is the shit we get.
They're worth what we paid for them. Let's just put
Yeah.
it that way.
Oh,
What the shit?
No wonder.
Are you shitting me?
We are too, because now we can't see. So,
Yeah, right.
Nick, welcome to the podcast.
Jake?
I can't see you. Hi, this is Stevie Wonder's
Or the
podcast.
shot, right?
Sorry, it's my first day.
My eyes don't cry no more.
Welcome to Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder.
I zoom in anymore. That gets
No.
time.
Hey, kids, stop having fun.
Yeah, you're having too much fun.
You're having too much fun, okay?
Well, we are not at our normal location. Where are we?
You're right, Jake. We are on location today. What's wrong with you?
Good question, Nick.
Well, first off, I would like to address the elephant in the room.
I've lost weight.
Damn it. As soon as I said it, I went, shit. He's gonna come back with a joke, and I don't know how to get this. So, you caught me off guard. Damn it.
I actually haven't lost weight, but it's
Jake
fine.
looks great, by the way. The camera puts on
150 pounds.
Jesus.
Hence the elephant in the room.
What do you think? Episode 7 or 8 we get canceled? I don't know.
We're already canceled. Nobody's watching this one as it
It's
is.
true. Yeah, that really sucks. Put my meat in your mouth. Shit. It's on
Subscribe.
camera. God damn it.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Damn it.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans for
I
that
just
content.
can't keep the perv out of my...
What? Say it again?
Nope.
Finish that sentence. Finish that sentence. You can't keep the perv what now?
Oh, crap.
Once again, who knows what this is actually good content or not.
We'll just watch it together.
But OnlyFans.
Is it me?
Oh, we're done
Where'd
with the
you
Nick
start
show.
from?
Now here we go. Now he's become went from the Nick show to now Nick's hosting the show. Go ahead. What else we got?
I regret every day signing up to do this with you.
No, he doesn't.
Cheers.
Picture by Kid Rock.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
kiss
it's-
me.
no,
No,
it's
I asked you
picture.
about kiss me.
Yes. You want me to kiss you? What? Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
You really got to start this, bro. Crap. How far down do you want to go?
Subscribe to OnlyFans. And I joke with him all the time about this. He literally.
Hold on, really
we
quick.
gotta know.
Did you hear
Our
that?
staff is
Our
now
staff
popping
is
bottles.
popping bottles?
This is bullshit.
What is that?
I'm telling a heartfelt story, and our staff is just popping bottles.
In the middle of filming, and she's trying not to pee herself.
And in the shops, they had these books.
Books were so funny.
The what? One more time. I've got this. Oh my god. Okay.
Like I said, we've.
What the fuck?
Into this.
I had to retaliate.
This is like the phone last time where he just threw it and his phone went flying.
Oh, so where does it even say A or B?
This is A. This is B.
I'm looking for A and B. I can't read. Oh my god. We have to do this segment so many times.
Listen, I'm just going to say this right now. None of this is going to make the podcast because we're going to get canceled. But
We're already canceled.
would you rather shove your whole head into an elephant's ass?
There's no fucking way that says that.
The best part is I had it full on like radio like, would you rather? I need
That's
to know.
what got me.
Would you
Dude, come on, man. I can't do this again. Like, what the fuck?
what,
What the fuck? All right, I'm not looking at you. All right, go ahead. This podcast sucks. Sorry.
I want to see you Steve Austin that shit.
Nick out.
Out.